Hello, Paul Ellis from the RIC Group here. Just going to give you a presentation on our supply chain solution for Acumatica. The RIC Group was established in 2001 and we have customers all over the globe using our warehouse management solution and proof of delivery and route management. The majority of our customers are in distribution and manufacturing, and we've been a regular sponsor for the Acumatica summits around the globe. We work with all the Acumatica partners globally. The RIC Group software is Australian made and Australian owned. A little bit more about the platform of our warehouse management solution. It's built in new technology with an MVC framework. It's browser based and it has an auditability for all transactions for all users. We use the REST API for integration with Acumatica, which gives us an ability to use configurable endpoint logic. Now the great thing about this is it allows the Acumatica partner or the Acumatica customer to change the endpoint logic, which then goes into our warehouse management solution. So for example, if you wanted to modify the put away strategy, you can use the endpoint logic to do this and it goes straight into the warehouse management solution. We also have our own API which helps with the Internet of Things. So with integration for freight, e-commerce, blockchain, Power BI or other business intelligence tools, we have our own API to do this. There's no duplicate data using our warehouse management solution and it is real time. It's using OAuth 2 for token-based authentication, so that allows us to use an HTTPS secure environment for our browser. We also have been putting in a structure for a multi-tenant environment. Our warehouse management solution is a best-of-breed solution for our customers. We are GS1 compliant as well. One more slide. So for contacting us, you can just email us at sales@thericgroup.com and visit our website. Now let's get into it and I'll show you how it works with sales orders. So I've done a sales order here in Acumatica. You can see the sales order number 566 against ABC Studios. Now to release this to our warehouse management solution, we first need to create a shipment. And when we create a shipment, Acumatica will actually give it a shipment number. So there's a sales order and there could be multiple shipments. So we can see here 565 is the shipment number. Now let's go into the warehouse management solution. Now one of the things we've added recently is favorites. So on the warehouse management front page, you can actually have favorites, so you can quickly go into a picking or receiving screen or stock lookup. You can use any of these menu options as a favorite. To release orders, we do this through our pick pack manager. So at Acumatica, you've been creating sales orders, and once you want to release them to the warehouse, you would create a shipment. I've got it select on today's date and also the wholesale warehouse. So a couple of options here with looking at our pick pack manager. We've got a complete auditability of what is happening in the warehouse. So we've got released, pick and process, picked orders, pack and process, pack completed. So there's complete auditability that's happening. Now notice that when we're going up there, we're looking at shipments live. We're looking at the available shipments that can be picked and packed in the warehouse management solution. So if I select this, I could release by line, I could release by document. I could take this off and say I only want to pick this order and instead of pick and pack. I could also consolidate or wave pick. But right now I'm just going to show you the simple way of how it works and the workflow. So I've released that now for picking. So we can see here behind the covers we create a pick ID, and the pick ID is what's known to the warehouse pickers. So if I want to go into the picking screen, I could go straight into picking, but we've actually allowed a link like that to go straight up into the pick as well. So we can see here the item, the release quantity and the bin location. So if I go back into the Acumatica shipment, we've got the same information and the warehouse management solutions dragging that down directly. So once in the picking screen, we could scan a barcode now and it will increment the pick quantity. But a lot of our users will go into what we call the picking screen, the single item picking screen, because it leads the user via bin location strategy, so the shortest route around the warehouse. And I'll show you as well when we make a smaller screen. So this is on obviously a laptop computer, but if I want to make a smaller screen, I can just do that going through developer tools. And you can see here I can change the screen to whatever size it may be, and it's going to fit automatically, and that's one of the reasons we have done that in our browser-based environment. So we can see here the release quantity is 2, we can see the bin location that the user needs to go to, and just by the way, clicking on bin locations will give me also where the item is in other bin locations as well. So if I've gone to this bin location and I want to pick it from another bin location, that's available to the user. So just by clicking add, or if I was to scan the item and then scan it again, remember we've got multipliers as well, so if we want to do inners and outers and pallets or SSSC, we can do that as well. So when we add the item, it straight away goes into what we call our audit. And so we could have multiple users picking this order at the same time. So if we had multiple lines, we could have multiple users. Because it's a live system, it's real time going back and talking straight away. So once we've got our picking information, we can see that we've got release quantity 2 and pick quantity 2. So it is true that we changed the color to let people know green is completely fulfilled, and every step that we do or the user does has got a date time order. I could print a label, so if I want to print a label I could do that right now, but I want to just show the pick and pack process, so I'm going to complete this. And the pick's been completed and the user could go to the next pick. So here's a bit of a legend with the picked orders, and we can see which ones are not in picking, partially picked and completed. Further to this, we could have customer service using our filter ability as well. So if a customer service operator wanted to select an order and search for an order to see where it's up to, straight away they can use these filters and go to that order. So now, the second step from picking is packing. We could have the same user do the pick or pack, or we could have different users do the picking and packing as well. So once we've gone here, we can see that there's a pack ID as well. We could be packing multiple orders into the one consignment. Let's go pack items. So it brings up our packing screen. We might want to be packing our items into a box for SSSC or EDI information. So we might want to be printing delivery labels. So we might want to capture a length with height for the box as well. But I'm just going to select the item manually, and then I'm going to add the pack quantity of 2. So I can select the item and then add the item, and we can see here the pack quantities 2. So of course I could scan the item as well, and it will increment the pack quantity. But notice the auditability that we have now. We've got the release quantity, we've got the pick quantity, and we've got the pack quantity. We're ensuring that there's a full audit for every step of the way. Once I've completed the pack and I've fulfilled the pick quantity, we can complete. So if I quickly go back to our pick pack manager, remember I was saying earlier there's a full process in what's happening. Now if I go to packed, we can see the order, and it takes a couple of seconds and it'll update into Acumatica. So if I was picking, so we can see released orders, then I can see orders that are being picking, finished picking, in pack process, and then packed, and then completed. So let's go into Acumatica with shipment 565 and just refresh that. So when the shipment has been updated in Acumatica, we can see here the status has been confirmed. So our warehouse management solution is now confirming that shipment. And if we were having our packing solution with the length with height or cubic measurements turned on, we'd also insert that information into the packages where you can capture that information into the box IDs as well. But for now we can see that we've released 2, have picked and packed 2, and then we've confirmed 2 in Acumatica. So a little bit more information on the WMS. I just want to go through. We've got the receiving and put away. We have stock lookup, stock transfers, and stock taking. Just quickly show you stock lookup. If I enter in an item, and so search, and it will go straight up to Acumatica and have a look at that information. I might just select on the 02 item, and when it does this, it's going to interact with Acumatica in a real-time instance. And what we're doing is looking at endpoints So we're getting that information live out of Acumatica through the REST API. So you can see here, here's my item, here's my barcode. So if I wanted to update barcodes in the ERP in Acumatica, we can do that. We could print an ad hoc label, so we could print a stock label for that item now. We can see what the default bin location is for this item, so we can see that the grey represents that, and the wholesale or warehouse code. And we can see the other bin locations and what quantity is. Stock Lookup's a fantastic way to spot check what's in the warehouse at that current time. So again, if I just go through the process, we create a sales order in Acumatica. We then create the shipment. So let's just go into a sales order. So I'm just going to enter in a sales order. And I'm going to enter in another line as well. So you can see here I've got 2 products on the sales order. I'm just going to save this sales order. And then from here I'm going to create a shipment. So once I want to send the sales order to be picked and packed, I create the shipment first, which really allocates the stock. So that's now allocating the stock for this sales order. We can see here the shipment is in an open status, and with an open status it can now be retrieved in the Pick Pack Manager. So if I go to Pick Pack Manager, which I was in, but I can go into that and just refresh, and then I can go, okay, I want to find the latest shipments that are ready to release for the warehouse. Because remember, I might want to release multiple orders into a wave. I might want to release orders into a zone. So we've got zone picking as well. I can select that order. If I want to release by line, in our warehouse management solution, we allow the users to release one line at a time. So there may be a reason why that happens. So I'm just going to select all and release. And once it's released, it creates a pick ID, and then we can go through, as you see here, the pick and pack process, and it will update into Acumatica and confirm the shipment. So if I was a warehouse user or a picking user, I would just be in this screen here. I could see straight away that there's an order ready to be available for picking. One of the strategies we allow for picking as well is being able to do label picking. So in this release section, you're actually able to tick this and then print the labels. So I could print pick tickets, and the picker can then open up the screen, pick their products by scanning it, also select different bin locations, pick and pack, and then send it back into Acumatica. Now, one of the things was about the endpoints that I was talking about, and really this is a flexible way that we use, and there's a big reason we do this. We use the latest contract API or the latest REST API for Acumatica, and we create endpoints, and these endpoints can then be modified by the Acumatica partner or the Acumatica customer to then go and change the strategy or change the way that the warehouse management solution is working. So for instance, if we want to print different things onto the labels, we might want a reference number, a purchase reference number that's not available right now, and you can change the endpoint to do that. And then you might want to change the put away strategy for the receiving. You can do that as well. Now, I won't go any further into that, but the one important note to note as well is we're currently using the latest version of Acumatica, which is 2018 R2. So you can see here we're using the Acumatica 2000 R2 version for our integration with our warehouse management solution. So feel free to contact us at sales@thericgroup.com, or visit our website or visit our YouTube channel if you would like further information on our warehouse management solution for Acumatica. Thank you for listening.